And this is the final question, but
Yeah.
who mainly inspires you guys? Because I know when you guys work with me, you're obviously inspired by me. And yeah, this is the, what's your name?
Fuck you, dude.
We're doing an interview. Alright, see you after.
This is Glasgow.
Yeah, that's Glasgow.
My name's Cameron. I'm a co-founder of KHCF Creative, and we're a photography collaborative based in Glasgow. We are graduates, master graduates that have decided to basically chase our passion and just forge something important for our futures and hopefully an inspiration for lots of people in Glasgow.
How did you guys get involved in the whole art scene in Glasgow then?
So we moved to Glasgow in August last year, 2018, and I had never lived in Glasgow before, but Nathan he's from Mulgai, so he's had a little bit of tether with Glasgow before, but very much we came here and I just threw myself into the deep end, like local singers, artists, designers, like I reached out to everyone that I knew. And I began building a rapport there, working with like local models, local students. Like it was very much about just getting yourself out there, putting the name out, and just being as genuine as you can to everyone. And I think that's what's important.
Yeah. So why KSCF Creative then? Because I think the people need to know why KSCF Creative.
Yeah, so KHCF Creative is actually my initials. I started this actually as a solo venture. I was planning to do freelance and travel and just not have a base. And then me and Nathan had spoken randomly on a trip at like 4 a.m. at night, getting a night bus back to our hostel. And he had told me how unhappy like his actions were right now, mapping his life, and I was like, well listen, why don't we take a chance and we join together and try this out. We offer photographic work through photo shoots, and also we sell our work.
This is the final question, but who mainly inspires you guys? Because I know when you guys work with me, you're obviously inspired by me. And yeah, this is the, what's your name?
Fuck you, dude.
We're doing an interview. Alright, see you after.
This is Glasgow.
Yeah, that's Glasgow. Include that. But yeah, because a lot when you guys worked with me, it was you obviously took inspiration from my books and what we did.
Of course.
But who mainly inspires you in general?
We both have one portrait photographer that we absolutely love and adore, Annie Leibowitz. She has Annie Leibowitz.
Okay.
She has the most phenomenal grading of studio portrait photography, and she's not a street photographer, but the way she conveys emotion and power through her work is something that's untouched. Like you cannot get a grasp of it. And she holds such a legendary name in that atmosphere. But honestly, what's interesting is like we don't tend to look for a lot of big names, and like when people say they're inspired by like animators are saying Disney, Pixar, you know, like all these things that are like big corporate names and big company names, like to us we honestly try and get inspiration from everything that we see. Like even if we know them, we don't know, like sometimes we literally sit out in spaces and watch people move, and the way they move, the way they interact is a really important lesson for us, because then we see like, oh, this is what we should be capturing. And like all these things is the essence of us being street photographers. Yeah. So in a really cringy short way, like everything around us inspires us to always be more attentive and more patient with what we see and watch. And that ultimately like what makes us be able to translate our skills into whenever we're doing a shoot for like you. Like when you give us an aesthetic and an image, we 100% relate back to, okay, so this is what we were looking for at this time, and this is how it can fit here. Like we're very much about bringing everything we can together to make the best outcome for the game as possible. So yeah, we're just constantly inspired, and lots of so much going on in Glasgow that you just can't help but be pumped.
The number 7's been really significant to me. I've just noticed it in a lot of themes, reoccurring themes, and I don't know, it just feels good, that number to me, and it resonates with me basically. And alien comes from, I guess, my whole childhood. I always felt quite alien. I don't know why. I think it was just based on circumstances that happened in my childhood that just made me feel very different to other children, and a lot of kids like couldn't relate to me and things like that. So I don't know, I put them together and it's been like that since like the beginning of my Instagram.
So tell us about yourself.
Well, basically my interest was photography. I was really into that. For a little bit I was into videography. However, photography resonated with me more because I think I used to have a hard time expressing myself, like my emotions and my feelings. So I thought photography was like the best outlet and really made me feel like I was showing my feelings a bit more through that. And when I got the feedback from it from different audiences saying that they really felt that close home to them, and they felt that in their heart, and my photography, that made me feel really good inside. Obviously, you know, I'm a human being, validation feels good, and it's always good to kind of like know that human beings are becoming inspired just by your inspiration. So I think that's where my inspiration comes from, is just knowing that I'm helping other people, whatever they're struggling through. My photography kind of heals them.
I'm also curious about how you got started in the whole Glasgow art scene. How did you get to meet the models or model team and just start to get your name out there in Glasgow?
I think Instagram. I remember this little life pro tip. I went on the, you know how you can search in the search bar like places and like people who took pictures in those places. So I looked up all the art places in Glasgow, and like I went to Goma, and then I went to the Glasgow School of Art, which is where I met the majority of the models. Probably where I met you, I don't know. Yeah, that's basically it. And then through them and word of mouth, it kind of just spread across.
What would you say, has social media influenced you positively, or would you say it's negative?
It's obviously a bit of both. I mean, a lot of the people I've worked with, such as yourself, I found through social media. So it's a tough one. Also, it could give you a false sense of image, and you know, obviously it has those Instagram models and things like that are just portraying kind of like, it's a beautiful thing that they're doing. They're, you know, embracing their beautiful side, but I think a lot of females and males. Hi.
Oh, dog.
Hi, baby. He knows what's up. I just. Bye. I just think we need to use it as a tool and not as a brainwashing system. And I've learned a lot of knowledge that I never knew before about so many different topics just through social media. So I'm gonna say both. It's a good and bad thing. It depends on what your mindset is going into it, and you have to treat it really sensitively, social media.
Do you think art is a great way to solve mental illness?
Yeah, oh definitely. That's the main reason why I got into photography, is because I used it as a form to get out of my comfort zone and start talking to people, because I suffered from a lot of social anxiety and depression and was really comfortable just being at home and in my shell, you know what I mean? And I just thought, you know what, let me try and give this a go and meet new people, and it ended up being a really great thing.
Would you say Glasgow helped you come out of that show? Or?
Yes, definitely. When I came to Glasgow, that's when my photography definitely took off. When I was in Toronto, I was doing it a bit, but I don't know what it was. Really, maybe it was just being in a different country. It just gave me that fire to be like, okay, this is going to be like my new life. I'm going to try and start new opportunities with people and just meet people who I've never known before in different cultures. I always say, like, even to you and like everyone I always meet, that Glasgow's art community is probably one of the best I've ever seen. Like, it's so close-knit and everyone knows each other. Like, when we're walking about with the models and stuff like that, they're always like, oh, hey, like bumping into people. It's crazy. You never really see that in Toronto. It's really good.
It's a great city and it's on the come up.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, definitely.